was hosting a big function. And a lot more people showed up than he was expecting. So he was in this dilemma. So he got on stage. He said, if you are from the bride side, the side of the girl, move on the right. If you're from the groom side, so when he said that, some people moved. If you're from the groom side, move on the left. So few people move that side. But there was still sizable population sitting in the middle. So he said, if you're on the right and if you're on the left, please leave. This is my son's birthday party. We don't have that problem here. So as you can see, for the next segment, we need absolute silence. So let's see.
How are you? You get the email announcement? Are you? I never get an email announcement. What did they say this time? Oh, our Swamiji is moving to Sandeepany. What? This is a big news. Where is Sandeepany again? Hariom guys, what's happening? Hariom, Tushar? Hariom, Kincho, Majama? Did you get the email announcement? No. I never get any emails. My wife registers kids for Bal Vihar and she gets them all. Which is okay, I just want the important news. You know, I'm assuming your wife does not update you. At least you're lucky you get an email announcement. I never get any email. So what is this big news? Our Swamiji is moving to Sandeepany. He's moving to San Jose? I thought, where does he live now? No. The email says our Swamiji is going to Sandeepany. Hariom. Did you get the email announcement? It's a big news.
Oh yeah, I get the emails, but I don't read them.
Swamiji is going to Sandeepany. There's a big news about that.
Our Swamiji is moving to Sandeepany? Is it ready yet? Have we inaugurated it yet?
What do you mean? Our Sandeepany was inaugurated in 1963 by Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda.
No, our Sandeepany is on Clayton Road in San Jose. And I'm glad to hear that our Swamiji is ready to move in. However, I wish I had attended the inauguration. I didn't even receive an email.
What is this new Sandeepany? The one in San Jose, in the Park Avenue? The one I have gone only once? So, where is Swamiji moving from? The old Sandeepany or new Sandeepany? And where is he moving to again?
You know what? I remember Swamiji saying that he came from Sandeepany.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Swamiji came from Sandeepany. You all are confused.
No, Shreya, you are confused. Swamiji is in Sandeepany. No. The email clearly indicates Swamiji is moving to Sandeepany. We both are confused.
Which Sandeepany? Old or new? Park Avenue or Clayton Road?
I'm confused.
I'm confused.
I am confused. I am confused. I am confused. Are you all confused? Would you like to know if our Swamiji is moving to Sandeepany and coming from Sandeepany, from old to new? Please join us on the 30th of March as we host From Sandeepany to Sandeepany. Hariom.
Can we have the lights again? It is so good to see so many of you here today. It means all of you got the email announcement. And you read them too. If you know, we had included this video as part of the announcement. How many of you saw the video? Swamiji, you didn't see it? Did you get the email announcement? Actually, we had two different versions of announcement. Swamiji got a special version without the video, and the rest of us, we got one with the video. Swamiji, we should not have kept this secret from you. We ask for your forgiveness. We'll not do it again. On behalf of Chinmaya Mission San Jose, Acharya Umaji, and our board members, I welcome all of you to today's occasion. It's an occasion of joy, occasion of celebration. We were going in circles when we were planning to name this function. What do we call it? We didn't want to call it a farewell ceremony or a goodbye function, because all those words have a sad connotations to it. But once again, our Swamiji came to rescue. And he said, why don't we call it From Sandeepany to Sandeepany? And it was such a perfect title. And everything started falling in place. It's in our tradition that whenever we start something very auspicious, we start with some sort of invocation. And for this occasion, I was thinking of what verse can we use. And one verse in particular came to my mind. Sada Shiva Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmat Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. This great parampara of Guru Shishya, starting from Bhagavan Shivaji to our own Guru, is the most sacred of all Vedantic traditions. It is through this parampara the best and most exalted knowledge gets passed down from Guru to Shishya. And it is this parampara through which our reverence, our devotion and our love flows from our Guru to Bhagavan. For us, this parampara, our connection to this parampara, started on July 5th, 2004, in this very auspicious place, when Pujya Guruji introduced Brahmachari Prabodh Chaitanya to Chinmaya Mission San Jose. And I can remember he was seated right there next to Brahmachari Girish Ji. And I was sitting in that corner with faint tears of joy in my eyes. We checked out about 10 different venues. We were trying to host this function. We were going back and forth. And I think Bhagavan was trying to tell us something. That he wanted to have this function in this place, because this was the appropriate venue. And we are back here after 10 years. After 10 years, Swamiji has this great honor of teaching the 16th residential Vedanta course in Sandeepany Sadhanalaya in Mumbai. Where Swamiji is going to teach the future teachers who will continue this great Guru Shishya Parampara. What an honor it is. All the people today who are present here, about 1100, and those people who are not able to come but who are here in spirit, we know quite a lot of them. It's a testament of how many lives Swamiji has touched and how many people have benefited from sadhana of an individual, which is you, Swamiji. Today's function is our little attempt to express our gratitude, which will be like a tiny droplet compared to a vast ocean of gratitude we feel collectively in our hearts. That's where the next speaker comes in. When you hear the name Sanjay Bangwal, two things come to your mind. One of them is Omran. The other, if you are from San Jose, is how to evacuate in an event of emergency. But today, as he said, for a change, he's going to talk about something else. Even I'm looking forward to it. But he has told me that not to give any hint or any clue. So I will ask Sanjay to come on the stage and take us to the next segment of the program.
Dearest Swamiji, soon after your announcement about leaving San Jose, my mind began processing a way for us to express our collective gratitude for all that you have done for this community of seekers. The outcome of that exercise is this anthology of love and immense gratitude towards you. The title of this book, Kritagnyata, was carefully chosen to express our sincere appreciation for you and the lineage of teachers before you. For without their dedication, passion, and single-minded focus, we would not have this wonderful and nurturing environment that we take for granted today. I did not know how to start work on this book, Swamiji. But Bhagwan has a strange way of putting like-minded individuals in your path when good intentions are aligned with his word. And in this case too, divine intervention put forth people such as Jayanti Balachandran. She's here somewhere. And Pooja Vyash, who helped me edit the work in this book. Without help from people like Shailesh Sharwan, I know he's here in the room somewhere too, we would not have the artwork and the layout that was used in this book. People like Ravi Ranganathan, Vipin Thakur, Sanjay Patel, and Prakash Badutpur contributed photos in thousands that we selected from for this book. Swamiji, please do not judge the silence of many more as lack of effort or emotion on their part. In spite of my best efforts to extract a write-up from them, the best they could offer me was a blank, tearful stare. Words have failed my brethren, but their hearts are overwhelmed with deep and heartfelt gratitude for you. To say that you will be dearly missed would be a gross understatement, as all of us are already beginning to feel the void that you're leaving behind. Swamiji, I do not yet understand the reason to burden this transactional body with emotions, on top of all our other shortcomings. But I'm sure Bhagwan has a good reason for that too. Hence, please indulge us as we make this humble offering at your feet. In the year 1501, the governor of Florence commissioned the great Michelangelo to sculpt a marble statue of David for the city's new cathedral. Michelangelo started working on a 6-ton block of marble that lesser artists had worked on before and had given up. When asked why this piece of marble, Michelangelo replied simply, because David lives intact within. And not caring about the state of this marble, he produced a world-famous wonder that we all call David today. Swamiji, like Michelangelo, you have lovingly chipped away our imperfections and gently coaxed your flock to this path of freedom and eternal wisdom, never judging us and never with any denigration. As for my personal journey, years ago, much like a lot of people in this room, I accidentally walked into one of your pravachans. Needless to say, every moment in your presence since that time has been life-changing. Your kindness and endless enthusiasm for Om has transformed me into a better husband, parent, and friend. I can now see oneness in all of God's creation, and I'm able to analyze my thoughts to ensure that I stay focused on my spiritual journey. Swamiji, it has been the privilege of my life to serve the mission under your leadership and help so many others participate in events such as Om Run. As sad as this parting of ways is, I take solace in the fact that you are the product of the great Chinmaya mission. And someone just as compassionate will soon be here to help this community of seekers continue our spiritual journey. Forever in gratitude, Swamiji. At this point in time, I would like to request our Uma Auntie to come on stage and read the foreword from this book.
It's wonderful. I don't remember the last time we were here. I was here. When you first came, I was here. But not this crowd. So it is new. 10 years has made this difference. like to share with you, I was asked to do this in particular, how we got here and from where. I would give that to Gurudev first, dedicate it to him, because he did it. Nobody else. He laid the foundation for all mission centers around the world, and we are one of them. Okay? Now, it started on April the 2nd, 1988. I'll read from the script that we did for the book. That will save me time, and clarity and accuracy will be there. Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda inaugurated Sandeepany San Jose on Park Avenue in 1988. In 1989, Swami Gurudev had brought with him Swami Tejomayananda, who was studying teaching in Hawaii at that time. And he had not even asked Swami Tejomayananda to come to San Jose yet. He was visiting us here because we bought that place in Park Avenue. And he told me that he's sending him to teach us. And Swami Tejomayananda had no idea. We got the news first. And I was surprised because Swami Tejomayananda was very much needed in India. In spite of it, he said no, he will go to San Jose. And he did. And he named the center also. At that time, Gurudev had named it as Chinmaya Mission San Jose, and all the proceedings happened. Then, after that, Puja Gurudev named the premises as Chinmaya Mission, but we were not registered yet. We were still under CMW at that time. But the name he had created before the event. 1992, we became CMSJ officially. It took us that many years to get registered. And Swami Tejomayananda was here by that time. So because he had in mind, why Sandeepany? That was the first Sandeepany that was established outside of India. India has many Sandeepanys, but outside none whatsoever. First one he named Sandeepany. I was surprised myself. Of course, my knowledge was very little at the time. Ignorance was superseding everything. So everything was new. So he had to, I didn't ask him, so I don't want to exhibit my stupidity. He looked at me and he said, why Sandeepany? I didn't ask him yet, but he found out what was going on in his head. He wanted to bring Sandeepany to California from Bombay. He can't bring the building here, or the whole thing. So I bring the teacher here and start a program here in San Jose to teach householders in California. I don't know why California, that you have to ask him. In California, the whole course he taught in Bombay for householders, not residential, day scholars. And so the Vedanta course started. For 4.5 years he was here and he taught this. And taught us not only Vedanta, but he also got us to become addicted to it. All of us who knew very little at the time, because we only met Gurudev a little bit. So there was Swami Tejomayananda. So he conducted the course, people came and we studied, whole thing was fine. As our first Acharya, Acharya Guruji, now we call him Guruji. So many gurus, we have to give people nicknames. I don't know what yours will be, but Swami Tejomayananda became Guruji now to everybody. All Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, all the spiritual texts that we have. And in addition, those things were taught by Puja Gurudev also. But what Puja Gurudev did not do in his tours of India, from India to outside, was Ramayanam and Bhagavatam. He didn't have time for that. And I think he was keeping that for someone else. And that someone else was Swami Tejomayananda. He was the best I've heard. And I have not heard much of those two texts myself. I know a little bit about Ramayana, what happened, Rama, Sita, and all his brothers, all that I knew. But what happened in between all the little things, I have no clue. And like me, there were many people like that. So he taught detailed Ramayana in Hindi. which is not my language. So his first class was in Hindi. I sat through it. Second day I didn't go. Of course I wouldn't go because I didn't understand. He was wondering why I didn't come to his class. I was downstairs. The class was upstairs. After the class he came running down. Why were you not in class? I don't speak Hindi, I said. Nobody told me that, he said. I think we are going to advertise that. I didn't. You know what he did? Very next day he started classes in English as well as Hindi. Morning Hindi, afternoon English. The entire hour, and he continued that for 2.5 years. Ramayanam and Bhagavatam. That's how you all got the tapes of his in English. That was Swami Tejamananda. That was a wonderful teacher, and he was our Swami here, his students. Can you expect any less? That's coming later for that part of the conversation, because he never forgets anything, Swami Tejamananda. He keeps everything in his mind and he takes it out on you. But he didn't know whom he was talking to. So what happened was, as time went by, Gurudev kept coming every year till he attained Samadhi in 1993. Pujya Gurudev attained Samadhi in 1993. And then Swamiji didn't know he was the head of the mission. None of us knew at that time until we went to India and came back. And mission continued. And Acharyas were sent after Swami. Even Gurudev knew he was going to attain Samadhi. None of us knew. He knew he was. Before he left United States in 92 to reach India, he made arrangements for Swami Chidananda of Rishikesh and of Powai, was teaching in Powai, to come to California. He didn't tell Swami Tejamananda, he didn't tell me, we didn't know anything about it. He was confronted directly with that Swami. Get your passport, get ready, get... So Swamiji heard this Swami Tejamananda in Washington DC when he was traveling with Gurudev. And he called me from there and said, do you know so-and-so is coming here? Why is he sending another Swami to San Jose when I am still here? What's going to happen to me? That was his concern. I said, oh dear. I said, so I don't know, I've not heard about this. I said, so anyway, the travel came, brought him in Krishnalaya and back to the Bay Area. Then I asked him, he was very concerned. Every time he talked to me, he asked me only that question. What's happening to me? He said nothing to me. So I said, I think he has some other plans for you. I said, what is it? I'm here, I'm not in India. Well, anyway, we will go. No sooner that he said that, they went from here, they went to Washington, went to San Diego, and he attained Samadhi. And we are looking at each other, both of us, as heavy as our hearts were. He said, do you remember what I said, that he had no plans for me? Now it's even worse. He has gone without even telling me my plans. Usually he tells them what they are supposed to do. I said, I don't know. I said, did he say anything to you? He said, no, not a word. And he's traveling every day with him for the 3 months he was here. Not a word. See, Pujya Gurudev has his way of telling people messages, and which he didn't catch it. He did say, I did read that letter, I also didn't conclude what he meant. Neither did he, and when we were in Siddhavadi, doing his Samadhi pujas, 2 weeks we were there. And I wondered, what is it? And then he said, Naji, do you remember that letter I showed you just before we came here? Yeah, what was that, his letter? He said something there, and we both discussed it, and we left it off. Do you are understanding what it was? In that letter, he had said, I have divided the country, India, into regional centers and put many swamis in charge of each state in India. Very detailed he wrote, so-and-so in this state, so-and-so in this state. Swami Tejamananda's name was missing. See, he left me out again. But the last line was, and you oversee their work. That part we didn't catch it. Oh yeah, what happened to that? I don't. And the letter was here in San Jose. And we were in Siddhavadi. You know, and those days got telegrams and all that, you know. So, but fax was. Called Pranji Bhai here, go to my room, pick out the letter and fax to me immediately, he said. He found it, faxed it. And the Board of Trustees in India are having a big meeting in Sandeepany trying to find who will succeed Gurudev. So many Swamis and trustees and everybody. So to them he showed, because he dare not say that. So regarding him, how can he make the decision? This letter we found, I don't know what it means, he said. Then they saw, why are we waiting up? This means you are in charge. I am. You are afraid of it. No, it cannot be. It is. So discarded, all their discussions were thrown into the waste basket, and he became the head. Swami Tejomayana. That way. Now, Tejomayana has gone to India. We are without a teacher. Can you be that? Now we are in the same plight. See, it's going. We are going to be without a teacher. So I came back here and I said, yes, we have no teacher. I said, yeah, we have no. Oh, he said, Swami Chidananda, Gurudev had arranged for. Swami Chidananda sent me a cable that he's leaving India, Delhi by such and such a day. Then I asked him, he's coming. Then give him. He's your teacher. So he was here for almost 5 years. There are teachers like that. And then he went back to India when he finished the course here. And he had other assignments in India. After that, we got used to teacher like all of us are here now. He is the longest teacher who stayed with us. And he came as brahmachari and going back as monk. Then he's returning to India as the teacher to the new students. And second one, after Swami Chidananda, we have Swami Nikhilananda 1 year, who's now Acharya in New Delhi. And after he went back, we didn't have any teachers for 3 long years. We dare not ask for a teacher. The Swamiji will say, getting into a very bad habit of being dependent. You are not putting forth effort. What do you want us to do? I asked him. See, I go on reading that. And then he said, learn this, what we taught you all these years, put it into practice. I want to see it. We are not that smart, I said. We need someone to help us do that too, I said. But no, he didn't. 3 years we smuggled through. And you know what we did the 3 years? We wanted to remember that Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Swamiji taught. All of us were interested in that scripture very, very much. No teachers. So we decided, a few ladies, I think Malika will remember that. Few ladies didn't have much to do in the daytime, so we got together at Sandeepany. We studied the Srimad Bhagavatam. She can chant very well and sing the songs. So she did. We discussed what we remembered from Swamiji's teaching. Very often we discussed, we didn't even know our discussion was right or wrong. Discussion we did because we enjoyed it so much. And we enjoyed each other's company too. Then, whatever we are doing in the spiritual field, the Lord is listening to us, whether you like it or not. Even right now, He's watching us. So it happened that He was. And sometimes Lord Vishnu, forget, He's in what you call restful peace. Those people are doing something, never mind. But Lakshmi, her ears are always where women are. So she heard, and she didn't like what she heard. She said, what are they talking about? He's talking about you. And all wrong, so many mistakes they are making. But open your eyes and see what they're doing. We laughed at it, because we enjoyed it, even though these things didn't manage about it. And then he got up and said, really? So he went and listened to us. And then he said, yeah, poor things. They want to learn, but they can't. He felt so sorry for us, actually. So then he said, is there anybody in Sandeepany graduating from Sandeepany? Some students were there studying, he said, out of sheer compassion. Lord is full of compassion when it comes to studying, people studying wrong things, saying wrong things about him. Anybody would be very unhappy about that. So I will tell you a little story of what the Lord's conversation, how that went. we must send somebody. And they looked around, and at that time, this is happening up in the heavens. We had no idea. We were in real bliss of our own, and laughed and talked. Again we met. We never stopped meeting. And the Lord said, He decided must rescue these people. Finding a young man, well-trained, qualified, spiritual aspirant to come and guide these people, you know. So, at around the same time, there was a young person, in the spiritual aspirant, a brahmachari by the name of Devang Joshi. You all don't know him? His name was that at that time. Along with a group of other brahmacharis, they had completed the Vedanta course at Sandeepany Sadhanalaya, Mumbai, under the tutelage of Swami Ishwarananda and Swami Tejomayananda. And Guruji was in the process of posting these graduated students to various centers and everywhere. I was watching that myself very quietly. I didn't tell him. I knew him before that, before he went for that course. But I didn't tell Swamiji that. You think I made up my mind at that time? No, I want to surprise. I didn't tell him that. So when I heard he's going, I will start moving fast. So I went to Swamiji and said, when he came to San Jose, I said, Swamiji, the course is over, isn't it? Going to be over very soon. It's almost over, he said. Could you send that brahmachari to San Jose? He looked at me, was so angry. He said, you always take the best one that I have. Acharya for 3 years. We have waited long enough. So my request now is, I want this Acharya, this brahmachari to be posted here. His name is, I think you gave him Prabodh Chaitanya, didn't you? That also you know. Then Swamiji said, haven't I, he said, you always ask me for the best I have. Haven't I given you every time you ask? Yeah, you did. Of course you did. Indeed you have, Swamiji. Thank you very much. But Swamiji, what am I to do? After having had you as our Acharya for 4.5 years and teaching Srimad Bhagavatam and Ramayanam, how can I ask for anyone but the best? You want me to go down? I had the joy of learning those texts under you, and I would very much like San Jose devotees to have the same opportunity I had in the blessings. Please, Swami, think before you tell me the next thing. So he sat and looked at me, and he was helpless. My argument was pretty good. So how can he say? Even before that, I said, you don't send a young brahmachari who doesn't know anything about what. We know more than he. What's the point of you saying? I want the ones who can teach us something that we don't know. Then he said, all right, you can have him. Conversation was over, and I left the ashram as fast as I could before he changes his mind. Then I had Swami Shantananda, who is now in New Jersey. He's Acharya there. He got hold of it before Swamiji changes his mind. Swamiji, I've asked him for this. Can you speak on my behalf to him and say the same thing? We need him very badly. These people are not good on our behalf. So he was working on one side, and I was working on the other side. Swamiji didn't know this, but that's how it happened. So then he had, all right, so when he came out and graduated now, Swamiji said, I met him in India, gave us land. So, all right, you can have him, he's coming, he said. He doesn't know that. So Prabhuji at that time had no clue. He never asked him, he never told him, nothing he knew. So it was a surprise to him. And Swamiji arrived here and things started. Chinmaya Mission San Jose has indeed grown tremendously during the last 10 years. Swamiji, you have inspired many hearts and have redirected their search for the truth to where it really abides. We all thank you for working tirelessly to teach us, as well as to our realized Pujya Gurudev's vision for the new center that we are about to open in San Jose. Took that long. He was here for most of its progress. But Gurudev had planned that when he was here in 93 itself. We wish you all the very best in the next phase of your spiritual journey as the Acharya in charge of the next Vedanta course at Sandeepany, Hawaii. We wish you good health and great work. Lucky students. You've got a lot of bunch of nice students. I don't know who they are, but you will know them. You will know them when you get there. Do you know all of them yet?
Some of them.
Some of them. Oh, one is sitting right here in front of us. So, wish you all the best, and don't forget us. Don't worry, you'll get lots of report from all these 1,000 people. Every day you'll be getting emails, and I don't think letters will come. Emails will come to keep coming to you, maybe pictures and phone calls. That's good. I don't have to write. All of you will write, isn't it? So thank you very much, and I have had fun and enjoyed my studies with you also. And this San Jose Center, thanks you very much for the 10 years. It doesn't look like 10 years, does it? It just flew by me. When he told me 10 years, really? So fast it went. But we had a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Auntie, for that trip down the memory lane for some of the older members here, or giving us some enlightenment to our roots. Okay, this book we call Kritagnata, Gratitude, has over 50 write-ups. Almost all the write-ups that were submitted were carefully screened, edited, and for 2-3 of us, totally consumed us for the last 3-4 months. So if you have written a write-up, it is in the book. It might not be the version that you submitted, but it is. And I thank all the contributors who poured their heart and soul into these write-ups. Unfortunately though, today there is time to read only about 5 more articles, write-ups. And so I'm going to invite the next 5 speakers one at a time. They're very quick. They won't be as long as Uma Auntie and my dedication. So let me first call the first person who has contributed to this book is Aarti Kapoor from our San Ramon Center. And here is Aarti with her write-up, Catch This Apple.